Hello, my name is Steve Bellamy. I'm an instructor of Shindo Mosoryu Jojutsu in Nagoya, Japan. This video cast is part of an ongoing series of audio and video casts which I call study casts. These study casts are intended to help and assimilate new students of Shindo Mosoryu into learning more about the customs and traditions and rituals associated not only with the Koryu art but also of Japan. So, and that is why we're going to talk about one very important thing at this time of the year. It's the beginning of the new year. And there are many traditions associated with both closing the old year and beginning the new year in Japan. Some of these customs have been, of course, transferred over to Western practitioners of the martial arts. But unfortunately, some of these have not always been explained too well, and there are some people who misunderstand their purpose. They all have a purpose. They are closely associated with Japan, and you need to understand them clearly, especially if you're doing a Koryu art, which itself has many very esoteric customs, traditions, and rituals. One of the things that we talk about is something called the Kagami Biraki, which literally means to open the mirror. Now, I'd like to explain about that. Firstly, at the end of the year, it's custom in Japan to clean, to tidy, and put everything into a new state. This is, of course, called osoji, and it happens in temples, in shrines, personal homes, in offices, etc. Everybody gets together and cleans up. It's not what you think it is. It's not about just making everything new. I'll talk about why in a few moments. One of the things that happens in temples is that they clean one of the front altars. And on the front altar, almost invariably, there is a large mirror. And now, in olden times, mirrors were very expensive to make. And those mirrors were protected with a cover. They were closed up. So, generally speaking, in a temple, they would clean the mirror, just like everything else in the temple, and then they would close it until the opening ceremony in the new year. This is still carried on. And in the new year, when everything is now begun again, they would, of course, open the mirror, and that's called Kagami Biraki. Now, this has been transferred over. We see this, as I said, in martial arts, in opening and starting ceremonies for companies, sports clubs, and such like that. Kagami Biraki means to open the mirror. It has nothing to do with things like eating mochi or drinking sake. I don't think anybody needs an excuse to drink some sake, but that's one of the things that have been associated with this called Kagami Biraki. Actually, you need to clearly understand, when we clean the mirror's purpose is to reflect clearly and correctly. Now, of course, over an entire year, it becomes dusty, dirty, and darker. And so it doesn't do its intended purpose. Cleaning the mirror is not about putting it into a new state. It's about returning to its original purpose. Cleaning the mirror, cleaning the house, cleaning the dojo is a very stark reminder to the person doing it to go back to original intent. When you open the mirror is, of course, cleaned and now is doing its job, the thing it was intended to do, its original intent. Kagami Biraki is a ceremony held around about the 15th of January in dojos and in companies and in temples, and it's about returning to original intent. If you're practicing a martial art, you don't get involved with other sports. You don't get involved with other attributes of other activities. You concentrate, you renew your purpose of getting on with the training. We say in English, stick to your knitting. Stay on course. Do the thing you set out to do. That's what Kagami Biraki means. You open the mirror, it's fresh, it's doing its job, you've returned to the original intent of your purpose. Reflect on that if you would like. And I use that word not as a pun, but yeah, reflect on that if you would at the time of around about the 15th of the January. Because that's the time when you look at what you have been doing in the previous year. Decide what you're going to do in the new year from this time forward and return to your original intent. If your original intent is to practice Shindo Mosoryu or any other martial art, don't get involved with sidetracking. Don't go off and do some other art or some other cross-training thinking it's going to help you. It's not. You need to return to your original intent. And that's what Kagami Biraki ceremony is about. Now there are a couple of other words you should probably know. You'll also hear the word Hatsu Geiko, first training. It's not Kagami Biraki. They are separated. First training can almost be from day one, January the 1st, or 3rd, or 4th, or 5th. It has nothing to do with Kagami Biraki. Some people get confused. They think that Kagami Biraki starts the training. It doesn't. Hatsu Geiko. The word Hatsu means the first, and you'll hear this in a number of different usages in Japan, such as Hatsu Mode, going to the temple for the first time. Hatsu Geiko, first training of the year. That's a separate practice. Then you'll practice maybe for a week or a couple of weeks, and then, usually around the 15th, which is usually a Sunday or near to a Sunday, we hope, then it will be Kagami Biraki. That ceremony that renews your commitment to original intent, doing what you first started out to do. There are a lot of other words in Japanese. There are lots of other associated words with the martial arts, and those are a couple of them I thought I would like to explain to you at this time, at the beginning of the year, Kagami Biraki. And I hope you all have a great year. Train hard, keep your original intent, and I'm sure it'll be successful. So once again, my name is Steve Bellamy. I'm an instructor of Shindo Mosoryu Jojutsu in Nagoya, Japan. I'm also a member of the Musokan, a Japanese iemoto dedicated to the preservation and the teaching of authentic Shindo Mosoryu. Bye-bye.